at what point did you know, "I wanna be a wrestler. I wanna get into this. How do I break in?"
Um, Honestly, the first day that I got into wrestling, I would say that's the first day when I took it seriously. It was January 1st of 2012. Um, Leading up to that, I would tell my dad like I want to be a wrestler when I grow up, but I just kind of didn't really know how. And eventually, I found the nearest school to me. Um, once I moved back to Sacramento, um, and that was a promotion in Northern California called Total Wrestling Federation (TWF). And my first day, January 1st, 2012, I learned how to bump. I learned I learned like a little bit of rolls. Like I already knew how to roll, but I learned basic rolls and just kind of just really hammered home on bumps, kind of running the ropes a little bit. But like that kind of really solidified, like, okay, I think I want to keep trying this. Before it was a pipe dream, but once I got in there, it really helped solidify that. And then I kind of had to take a hiatus from that. Just I couldn't really pay for it at the time. I was 18. I was making like nothing. I was working at a skating rink at the time. Um, but I tried again, and I tried with another promotion here in Northern California. It was SPW, Supreme Pro Wrestling, and I was training under Jeff Cobb and JR Kratos and Brian Tannen. He came in a little later on, and he had just left NXT. He had worked there maybe a year, but he was in the first class of NXT. And those guys really helped me kind of, I wouldn't say shake the rust off because I didn't really do much, but just make sure whatever I learned in the first camp that it actually stuck, as well as I learned more things and I was kind of being seasoned a little bit more. But um life happened again, and the next time it kind of took about, that was what, the summer of 2015 when that happened. It kind of took me a couple years. Like it just, I was working at a high school. I had just kind of was more figuring out who I was as a person. This was my early 20s at this point, early to mid 20s, and I started training again. I went back to SPW in the fall of 2021, and it just wasn't really working with my life. I was learning a lot of things, but I it just wasn't really working with my life to commute and where it was located at the time. I just really couldn't make the back and forth. Um, but a couple months later, I saw some postings on Instagram, and it started getting the ball rolling. And they had noted that they were in Sacramento, and they're about 10 minutes from where I live currently. And so I got in my car, and literally the day I saw, I was like, okay, we got to go. So me and my buddy, we went down the street pretty much, and I started training again. And that was May 2nd of uh, 2022. So it's been a little over 2 years since I started my training, and I made my debut in September of that same year, and I've been wrestling since then. So it really took like what, my third time to really kind of, okay, I can do this. I felt like I had matured in my own life, and I learned a lot of life things to kind of better prepare me. Which, when I look back on things now, I was like, yeah, if I would have started when I was 18, like freshly 18, I don't think I would have done well. I think I would have just took a lot more risks, and I don't know that I would have been put in the right direction the way I am now. Um, but that's kind of all hindsight. I don't know if that all is true, but that's kind of looking back. I'm like, I'm on such a good path that I'm happy that I was able to start officially when I did. because I felt more prepared for what wrestling is and what I'm learning each and every time I step into a locker room, each and every time I perform in front of a crowd. Uh, I learn more and more about wrestling beyond anything that YouTube can teach me, anything that I can read in any biography. I learn something new each and every time. Even at training, I learned something new beyond just the moves. I learned something new. So, just my start in wrestling, just being able to take it seriously and being able to have the ability to take it seriously and be comfortable, um, that really helped me solidify. All right, let's do this. Like, let's get this ball rolling. Because since then, I wouldn't say I felt unstoppable, but it's definitely changed the way I operate as a person. So, yeah, that's to long-windedly tell you that that solidified everything for me.
Yeah, I mean, as they say, the third time is the charm, and you had that
Oh yeah,
determination. You knew that this is what you wanted to do, and now been able to live out your dream, which is amazing. Not everybody can say that they can become a professional wrestler, especially, you know, it took you like that long, three times to be able to do it. I mean,
yeah.
it's incredible. It's really awesome to hear about that. It's inspiring.
It took honestly 10 years from the first day I started till when I actually started being able to take it seriously. It took 10 years. So it was a long journey for me, but I think it was worth it. I learned a lot on the in between. Everything that wasn't wrestling, I learned, and that's been able to help me transfer into wrestling.